Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian Lad, and today I watched the final episode of She-Hulk at 0.2 speed and found 20 new details that you may or may not have seen before. Now I know fans are pretty divided about the show, but I'm gonna keep that aside for now for the sake of this video. I will, however, make an entire video essay explaining my thoughts on She-Hulk and how this whole show could have been written so much better than it is. I'm a writer myself, and that's all I used to do before I joined YouTube as a creator. So I would hope I can give you some insights into how screenplays are written and what really went wrong with She-Hulk in my opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad show, but it could have been so much better while keeping all the comedic elements. But that's for another video, and that video might well over be 15 minutes. So I would ask you to please turn on the notification bell so when I have the video ready, you see it immediately. Now without wasting any more time, let's get into the details I found. Number 1. The opening minutes of this episode are a nod to the opening of the Incredible Hulk TV series from 1978, like it's literally a frame-by-frame recreation. The Incredible Hulk reference is also perfect, because She-Hulk was originally created by Stan Lee in response to this popular TV series. Basically, when The Incredible Hulk was airing in the late 70s, Stan Lee worried that the production company behind the show would see an opportunity to create a spin-off with a female character. So in order to stop this from happening, Stan Lee wrote Savage She-Hulk issue number 1, which introduced Jennifer Walters. And of course, the intro ends with the title card The Savage She-Hulk, which was the name of the first She-Hulk comic from 1980. Number 2. After Jen moves back in with her parents, notice in her old bedroom, there's a poster for the Legally Blonde on the back of the door. And over by the bed, there's another poster for Erin Brockovich, a legal drama based on a true story. This shows how Jen was always into lawyer-themed movies. However, this scene didn't look like this in the trailer though. The trailer didn't have the poster for Erin Brockovich, and the Backstreet Boys Black and Blue album poster was also missing. Number 3. When Jen is scrolling through her recent texts before she sends one to Emil, we can see her most recent messages to Pug, Nikki, and the Office Peeps group chat, and a little bit of Rickroll going on there. Number 4. When Nikki posts a video of Jen dancing in college in order to lure Hulk King out, notice one of the top comments reads, "So she spent law school dancing instead of studying." Well, you can imagine that there's always comments like this on the internet, so that's spot on. Number 5. When She-Hulk literally breaks the fourth wall and moves from She-Hulk to Assembled, notice when she lands back on her feet, this scene is again slightly changed from the trailer to hide spoilers. Notice the background here. The soundstage equipment was not shown in the trailer, so that we wouldn't figure out that She-Hulk was gonna break the fourth meta wall. Number 6. In the same scene, we can hear two people on the soundstage talking about the Infinity Gauntlet and how a fake version was first seen in Thor as an Easter egg. Number 7. As She-Hulk walks around, notice she's actually walking through the real-life Disney Studios in Burbank, California, as we can see the Mickey Mouse Water Tower and the partner statue in the Legends Plaza. Number 8. On the sign for the She-Hulk production office on the Disney Studios lot, we can spot our final QR code on the sign, once again giving us access to a free She-Hulk comic. Number 9. When She-Hulk sneaks into the She-Hulk production office, we can spot the classic Captain America I Want You poster on the wall. Number 10. In the She-Hulk writer's room, we can see creator and writer Jessica Gauss sitting at the table as they discuss the finale. She is the head writer of the show. Number 11. On the whiteboard behind She-Hulk writers, notice there were several ideas that they had for the She-Hulk finale, including Gamma Goo, There's Something Attractive About a Man's Knees, Nanobots, and Injectable Hulk. Number 12. When She-Hulk heads off to see Kevin, she's again walking through the real-life Marvel Studios offices in Burbank, California. Number 13. When Kevin makes a joke about She-Hulk being too expensive and that she must transform back into Jen off-screen because the VFX team has moved on to another project, we can hear the Black Panther theme here.
But wait until the camera is off you. The visual effects team has moved on to another project.
Okay. Now, of course, Black Panther 2 is releasing in less than a month, and this was actually something that really made me laugh. At this point, Marvel is just making fun of itself, and I'm all for it. The writers did a good job there. Number 14. When Jen talks to Kevin, notice there were several Marvel comics in a display case. Most notably, we can see America Chavez Made in the USA number 1, an issue of She-Hulk by Rainbow Rowell, and Scarlet Witch number 4, which is part of the iconic Witches Road storyline. Number 15. A couple of seconds later, when Jen gives her closing argument to Kevin, we see another set of display cases of comic books. This time it has Daredevil, Miss Marvel, Captain America, and the Incredible Hulk comics. Number 16. While fixing the finale, Jen says that we don't need to know what Hulk has been up to in Sakaar, and they should save it for the movie.
Bruce swooping down from literal outer space to save the day in my story?
But Bruce is supposed to return to explain what he was doing
No,
on
we don't need to hear any of that.
But we were going to introduce...
Save it for the movie.
So Marvel is pretty obviously planting the seeds for the new World War Hulk movie, which is established more prominently at the end when Hulk introduces his son Scar to the family. So yes, a solo Hulk movie is definitely in development, and I'm also just gonna throw it out there that Hulk probably had a son when he lived in Sakaar for 2 years between Age of Ultron and Thor Ragnarok. This is probably why he was called back to Sakaar in episode 1. Number 17. When Wong comes back to break Blonsky out of prison, Blonsky asks about Wi-Fi at Kamar-Taj.
What's the guest policy at Kamar-Taj? What about Wi-Fi?
Wi-Fi.
This is a nod to the first Doctor Strange film where Murdo handed Steven the Wi-Fi password when they first met.
What's this, my mantra?
The Wi-Fi password. We're not savages.
Number 18. Jen tells Kevin that the finale should take place in daytime. This is something Kevin Feige advocates for as well, something that truly defined the MCU as opposed to the DC universe, where most of the final battles take place at nighttime. Number 19. Jen gets fired from GLK&H as she can no longer turn into She-Hulk legally, and then we see she's packing her personal stuff. Now notice the only item that was heavily focused on was this mug that says "See you later, litigator," which we saw back in episode 1. So now seeing this again in the final episode after Jen gets fired, I guess the words really came true in it. Number 20. At the end, we see Titania using an iPhone. Now, if you're aware of Apple's policy, no villains or bad guys in films can use iPhones. So the fact that we see Titania using an iPhone means she was never written as a serious villain. Well, this whole show wasn't supposed to be serious, I guess. Almost nothing had any repercussions, and almost nothing had any broader impact in the MCU. And that's it. This would be my breakdown of She-Hulk episode 9 at 0.2 Febix speed. Now hear me out, lads. My next video is gonna be a very important one. So I'd like to remind you all again to turn notifications on, grab the subscribe button, and please give me a thumbs up. I'll see you lads in the next one.